is 7 a.m. and it's now time for the Morning Watch. Today, the Morning Watch is brought to you by the Ministry of Legal and Constitutional Affairs.
The report is out.
What report?
The Constitutional Reform Committee's report of recommendations.
Recommendations on what?
On how we move from a monarchy to a republic, of course.
So what's in it?
The creation of the office of president and changes to our parliament. Yes, man. It also includes a new qualification for membership in parliament. I know you want to see that one.
Read the full report at roadtorepublic.mlca.gov.jm.
We are on the road to republic.
Listeners to Love 101 FM are advised that the views and opinions expressed in this program are not necessarily those of Love 101 FM.
Hello and welcome to the Morning Watch on Love 101 FM. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. A special welcome to our listeners on love101.org. And if you are overseas and on the move, U.S. listeners can access us at 712-832-8001. And if you are in the UK, 0330-332-6541, or join us via the Love 101 FM app that can be downloaded from the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. You can also join us on Love 101 FM Facebook and YouTube Live. In both watches today, both watches, dissecting the Trump/Biden presidential debate. For our social media question, we ask, how ready are you for Hurricane Beryl? How ready are you for Hurricane Beryl? Share your responses on our Facebook or YouTube, Love 101 from Jamaica Live, and also WhatsApp comments and voice notes too. 876-9973-125 using the hashtag The Morning Watch. We'll share your comments later on the program, but first, here's a quote from the birthday man himself, Jukal Dyer.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, so today's I quote says, "There's peace even in the storm." And this one is from Vincent van Gogh.
There is peace even in the storm. This is a very interesting I quote.
Right? I mean, it's what's happening
What
now.
a topical I quote.
Right? Yep. Right in the midst of the birthday.
There is peace even in the storm. No, let us separate the storm from the birthday.
No, man. It has to go. It has to go to the sea and die out.
The Main Watch will be back after this break.
Need to beat the heat this summer? Come to Fosridge for your ceiling fans at prices as low as $15,000. Their sleek and stylish 52-inch fan blades are designed to fit and complement your interior decor. Call them now at 876-937-5099 or visit any of their locations in Kingston, Mandeville, Montego Bay, and their newest location, Draxall. Beat the heat this summer at Fosridge with their Madison ceiling fans. Prices as low as $15,000. Open Sundays.
The report is out.
What report?
The Constitutional Reform Committee's report of recommendations.
Recommendations on what?
On how we move from a monarchy to a republic, of course.
So what's in it?
The creation of the office of president and changes to our parliament. Yes, man. It also includes a new qualification for membership in parliament. I know you want to see that one.
Read the full report at roadtorepublic.mlca.gov.jm.
We are on the road to republic.
In life, the more you have, the more you have to lose.
The more you love, the more you worry. The more you own, the less you sleep.
The more people rely on you, the more you have on your mind.
I have peace of mind,
knowing that whatever I own
and whoever I care about are covered by the very best.
With Sagicor Life and Advantage General, get life, health, and general insurance to help you protect what matters most.
You're invited to listen to Dollars and Cents every Thursday at 8:16 a.m. We'll give you tips on how to make your money count, how to save, and how to grow your worth. It's all inside Dollars and Cents, brought to you by BPM Financial Limited, taking you higher. That's Dollars and Cents, every Thursday at 8:16 a.m. on the family station, Love 101.
Coming up on the next Campus Connection, can you believe it's our final show for this season? Wow, time flies when you're having fun. We are inviting you to this end of year summer online party where you can send your shoutouts as we close off an amazing season. We will be reflecting on the season's journey and sharing summer activities for the family. Join us with special guests David Sutton, Perry in Christ, and members of the Campus Connection team as we close out school and kickstart the fun for the summer. That's Campus Connection this Tuesday, July 2 at 5:30 p.m. on the family station, Love 101.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. We are in the first watch, and the Trump-Biden presidential debate held on June 27th has some referring to it as a reality show. Others call it a disaster and alarming, and President Donald J. Trump was said by some persons to be in denial, whilst others said President Biden lacked clarity. And after the debate, some persons in the United States of America, mainstream media, openly calling for him to step aside. How did the Jamaican audience react? And what, according to us here in Jamaica, should the USA do going forward, or more specifically, the Democrat Party of the United States of America? Of course, President Biden, he is, of course, of that party. We have as our guest so far to discuss this very interesting topic, Reverend Basil Hanson. Reverend Basil Hanson is the founder and chief executive officer of Mercy and Truth Ministries Television. He's also the first vice president of the Association of Christian Communicators and Media. Who we hope to have joining us shortly is Pastor Silburn Carr. Pastor Carr, no stranger to the Morning Watch, as is, of course, Reverend Basil Hanson, both of them no strangers to the Morning Watch. Pastor Silburn Carr is pastor of the Abundant Life Christian Church. Good morning, Reverend Basil Hanson. How are you? Reverend Hanson. Reverend Basil Hanson? I think we're
yes, good morning, Stokeley. Yes, good morning. Good morning.
Well, we are hearing you, and I gather that Pastor Carr is now on. Pastor Carr?
Yeah, good morning, Stokeley.
Okay, well, since we have you on now, Pastor Carr, starting with you, what are your thoughts on the recent debate in general?
President Biden came across weak and not certain, but he had more facts than his opponent. He was factual based on what I know about America. So therefore, he was more truthful to me than his opponent, who came across confident and stronger, but it was riddled with falsehood. Most of it wasn't true. That was my observation.
When
so
you
the person looking at the debate,
yes,
would see Donald Trump as more credible than Biden. But Biden had a lot of stuff saying, but he was, because of how it was said, so that basically form versus substance. Donald Trump had the form, but Biden had the substance.
when you say that President Trump had a lot, well, I'm paraphrasing, use the word falsehood. What was the falsehood that he uttered?
He mentioned, first of all, he kept saying that the election was stolen. He didn't do anything wrong. He didn't rape the lady. The economy that he left was better than what it is now. The deficit was smaller with him than with Biden. Almost every answer that he gave wasn't factual. My observation.
Okay, I asked because to say that something that someone says is not factual is a very serious matter. So
yeah, but that I mean, a lot of other news media confirm it. One person said that he had 30 false statements during the debate. 30 as much as that.
Do you know?
Biden had about 5 or 6, so it wasn't one-sided.
Do you know what basis they said it was false?
The same thing. Things that were not true. Things that were blatantly not true.
I'm trying to get to the proof of the falsehood, not just saying the false. But be that as it may, we never enough time in the morning watch. Reverend Basil Hanson, what are your thoughts on the debate in general? Reverend Hanson.
Thank you for having me, Stokeley. You hearing me, Stokeley? Thank you.
Yes, we're hearing you, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Are you hearing?
Yes, sir, we're hearing you, sir. Go right ahead.
Are you hearing me, Stokeley?
We are hearing you.
Yes. Good morning, man. Okay, good morning. Thanks for having me. Okay. Well, yes. Okay. So I tuned into the debate, and I think it was very one-sided. I think one person is basically out of it. I think Joe Biden is really ill, and we just need to call a spade a spade. He needs to, take away himself, as we would say in Jamaica. I don't think he's fit for presidency. On the other hand, I heard that Donald Trump spoke a lot of lies, but that's what the media has been saying for years, that he spoke a lot of lies. But both parties, is guilty of saying things that are not true. And so I couldn't label one person liar and the other person not a liar. Because if you tell 30 lies or one lie, you're a liar. So I don't think any of them is in a position to throw a stone at each other. It's like what Jesus said, take the plank out of your eye before you could take the beam out of the other man's eye. So I don't think any one of them is in a position to call each other liar. Both of them lie. But we are in a place in the American politics where we have two leaders, and they are not the best. Both of them are up in age, but it is clear that Donald Trump is much sharper and is much more alert, and is more, if I have a choice between both of them, I'm going to choose Donald Trump. I could never choose Joe Biden.
Some persons are saying that President Biden's performance was disastrous. Any thoughts on that, Reverend Hanson?
You hearing me?
We're hearing you, sir. Go ahead, right ahead. Did you hear the question? Let's see if you can try to correct the connection to Reverend Basil Hanson. Well, I think it's back now. Reverend Hanson, say that.
I was saying that if I had a choice between both of them, I would choose Donald Trump.
We heard that, Reverend Hanson. I was moving to another question. Some say President Biden's performance was disastrous. Any comments on that?
I'm not hearing you, Stokeley.
I think there's a delay for some reason.
Okay.
We're going to take a break at this time. Listeners, please stay with us. We'll be right back at the Morning Watch.
From the
Coming up on the next Campus Connection, can you believe it's our final show for this season? Wow, time flies when you're having fun. We are inviting you to this end of year summer online party where you can send your shoutouts as we close off an amazing season. We will be reflecting on the season's journey and sharing summer activities for the family. Join us with special guests David Sutton, Perry in Christ, and members of the Campus Connection team as we close out school and kickstart the fun for the summer. That's Campus Connection this Tuesday, July 2 at 5:30 p.m. on the family station, Love 101. Let's face it, we all pray for forgiveness. We all want it. But how willing and prepared are we to return the favor? Forgive those who trespass against us, like it says in the Lord's Prayer. But what does it really mean to forgive? And is forgetting a non-negotiable part of the equation? Are we forgetting to forget? Tuesday, July 2, on The Rock, join guests Bishop Valentine Rodney and Bishop Carl Wisdom as they discuss the topic, Forgive and Forget. That's The Rock, Tuesday, July 2 at 10 a.m. here on the family station, Love 101.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. We are in the main watch, the first watch. In fact, both watches today are on the topic, will be on the topic, dissecting the Trump-Biden presidential debate. Our guests for both watches are Reverend Basil Hanson and Pastor Silburn Carr. Reverend Hanson, the last question I was attempting to have you respond to before the break, sir, is some say President Joe Biden's performance was disastrous. Your comments, if any?
Yes, Stokely, as I was saying, I am in full agreement that the Joe Biden presentation was very, very disastrous. I believe that, both candidates are old, but if you're going to be fair to each of them, Trump had a sharper mind, and if you have a choice between both, which is what we have now, I have to choose Donald Trump over Joe Biden. I think Joe Biden is in early dementia. That's my opinion. I think he's early dementia. And, the longer he goes in this race, the more the pressure is going to take a toll on him, and we are going to see, those things coming forward. Just recently, the White House was saying that, there were some videos that were posted of Joe Biden, standing up, looking in space, wandering off, and, a number of things. And they were saying those were cheap fake. They weren't really genuine videos. But we saw last week in all its glory that they were not cheap fake, videos. They were real videos. Joe Biden is in a place right now where he's not fit for presidency. And we must be honest and say that he's not fit. And I don't think he's at a place now where they can even replace him. They can't even replace him right now. So I believe, if I am going to be fair and be honest, Donald Trump, whether he's lying or he's not lying, they have a choice, and somebody has to be president. So I think I choose him.
Well, Pastor Carr, sir, it has been observed by certainly some persons that, President Biden appeared or had appeared to have some issues even prior to that debate. Persons had observed him doing certain things and saying certain things that made them question, or it raised concerns about him in terms of his capacity. And but the question is, sir, why the call by some Democrat Party supporters now for him to step aside and not before now? Why did it take the debate for some persons to openly call for him to step aside, especially across the length and breadth of the U.S. mainstream media and even beyond that?
I think because the debate was not good. It was bad. And based on the performance of the debate is the reason why the call is made now. Because prior to now, it doesn't seem that there were any major issues that would force a call for him to step aside. Because when he announced last year that he was going to run again, I had my concerns in that maybe he could make somebody else run, but he was convinced that he alone is the only person who can defeat Sir Trump. So they are in a dilemma, yes, but I still have confidence in him. I still believe that he can go through and win. That is my view.
Understood. Now, well, let me ask you the same question, Reverend Hanson. I mean, why the call by Democrat Party supporters for him to step aside at this time? No, and why wasn't that sort of open, loud call? Why wasn't that call made before now?
Well, Stokeley, the media has covered for Joe Biden from before the election. You know, remember during the COVID pandemic, you know, he didn't campaign a lot. The media campaigned for him. So we have not seen, and when he does something in public, they were able to say, just like the other day, you know, what we're seeing is not the truth. People are doctoring the videos and all of that. Last week, you cannot deny what we saw. So I believe they can't cover for him anymore. You can only cover for so much and no more. So they were able to cover him for the last 3 years. But now they are not able to cover anymore. There's nothing you can tell people, you know, what we saw real time last week, that this man is not demented or he's having mental issues or not. Something is wrong, he's not well. The media cannot cover for that anymore. No matter what you want to tell. If the media try to cover for that, people will stop listening to the media. I mean, a lot of people not listening to some media anyway. But the media cannot cover. The MSNBC and the CNN and those media cannot tell us that Joe Biden is well. And so that is why the call is now, you know, and they give themselves time. Because you notice we have never had a debate so early in an election. In a U.S. election. This is very early. So they are giving themselves time to try and replace him. But to replace Biden at this stage is very challenging, it's very difficult. It's not as easy as some people saying, oh, replace him now. You can't just replace Joe Biden. Because one, they're not looking at Kamala Harris, which is going to be even problematic. Because she's the vice president right now. And if you are going to replace Joe Biden and she's not going to automatically become the pick, for the presidency, then that is going to cause a lot of division and problem. And then the other problem is that the funding that Joe Biden has now, if they replace him now, Kamala Harris could get access to that fund, but a new candidate could not get access to that funding. You understand? So those are some of the challenges, and not every state is going to agree. Not every state, remember, every state have different policies and rules, you know. So there are some states that will not sanction Biden being changed at this time. So it is very difficult for them to do so. It's not as easy. And if you change it now, it still might not be, you know, enough time for a new candidate to come in and make a significant impact. So I believe, you know, as somebody said, God is going to use Donald Trump to teach America a lesson. And those who want to say otherwise, it's your opinion and it's your choice. I believe that God is going to use Donald Trump to teach America a lesson. Whatever that lesson is, I don't fully understand it yet. I don't fully comprehend it. But when God is ready to do his thing, we can't stop it. And whether it's Donald, remember the Bible says, the government of this world is in the hand of God. It is God who raises up government, and it is God who takes down government. It's not election that put people in office, you know. No, it's not election. It is God who put who he wants there, and it is God who takes down. And if God wants Donald Trump back in the White House, there is no power on this earth that can stop him. And we might as well admit that God knows more than us, and he knows what we don't know. The level of hatred that I see for Donald Trump, even from the Christian community, for some section of the Christian community, especially the black church in America. My heart goes out to the Christian community, because I'm saying, how can we who preach the love of God hate somebody so bad? Even among some of us as pastors and church leaders, we hate Donald Trump so bad that we don't think there's any way of redemption for him. Well, let me tell you something. Hatred, God hates it. And I cannot hate Donald Trump because the media tell me to hate him. There are some things that Donald Trump stands for that the Christian church should support. One, he doesn't support abortion. Or if he does, I don't hear him come out and tell the nation that, listen, you should kill babies, unborn babies in the womb.
He
doesn't support that.
If I may intervene, he believes in the exceptions, but he does not support late-term abortion at all. And generally speaking, he believes in the exceptions of rape, incest, and saving the life of the mother.
And the unsaved, I mean, if the man is not a Christian, he's entitled to that. I mean, most of us as Christians, we support wholesale abortion. I mean, so if he takes the exception clause, I can appreciate that.
And he
doesn't believe. I'm saying that's just one aspect that I like. It's not about Donald Trump's personality for me. It's about the principle and the policies. He doesn't support women, men calling themselves women and playing in women's sports. That's nonsense. He doesn't support a lot of the things that God says is an abomination. And we, some of us as church leaders, to support Joe Biden and the Democrats, you are supporting abortion, you are supporting homosexuality, you are supporting transgenderism, you are supporting gender fluidity, you are supporting all of these things that are not contrary to life and flourishing of life. So as a Christian, I can't support that. So if I have a choice between Joe Biden and Donald Trump, I am going to support the lesser of the two evil. I'm going to support the man who at least is willing to protect the unborn in the womb, the most vulnerable. And I cannot understand how a man of God or a woman of God can say you are truly serving God and you are killing, you are campaigning to kill babies in the womb. Fire for you, I don't support that. I stand by what the word of God says, even if I stand alone. And I believe a lot of us as Christians were afraid of backlash, and so we either keep our mouth shut or we go along with what the popular is saying. We can't do that. I believe we are at a place in this world where those of us who are afraid of backlash, we will not speak, and so we will be devoured, by the evil that is coming up. Those of us who know their God shall be strong and shall do exploit. I am not afraid to declare anywhere I go and to anybody that Jesus Christ is Lord over this world, and he chooses the government of the day, and even in our own country, it's not votes that put any leader there. It is who God wants to fulfill his purpose in this season. And I believe Joe Biden at this time is carrying out what God would want to happen in this season. But I believe the next phase of God's plan, Joe Biden won't be the president. So that is where I am at. I am at this time.
Reverend Hansen, I wasn't trying to cut in per se, but I didn't want to leave. I wanted to have the time shared as equally as possible between both yourself and Pastor Carr. But I see where we are already upon a break. But there's just a few things there, Reverend Hansen. To my knowledge, to my certain knowledge, President Trump is not against homosexuality per se, but he's definitely not in favor of transgenderism in terms of men taking part in women's sports, for example. And he has gotten a lot of backlash because of his position against, transgenders and how they will take part in the military. He has gotten a lot of backlash for that. And in terms of abortion, President Trump has indicated very clearly that he also doesn't believe that if a child survives an abortion, that you should be allowed to terminate their life after they're born. And he has been very clear on that as well. But we're upon a break already, and we passed the car. We haven't forgotten you at all. But listeners, please stay with us. We'll be right back at the Morning Watch.
The time by Jam Bank is
7:30.
Follow Grace Sardine, flavor. Grace Sardine with the chef and the beginner. Follow the one with pepper, that are the winner. Shop on supermarkets, everybody sell it. You all of them nice. Pass the part, make us shell it.
Pick up Grace Sardines with peppers, vegetable oil, water, and olive oil with peppers.
Cook it up, pre breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Shake it out, spice it up, make it simmer. Grace Sardine, yeah, the better flavor. Quick and easy as you print it. Ready?
Grace Sardines, follow the better flavor.
The report is out.
What report?
The Constitutional Reform Committee's report of recommendations.
Recommendations on what?
On how we move from a monarchy to a republic, of course.
So what's in it?
The creation of the office of president and changes to our parliament. Yes, man. It also includes a new qualification for membership in parliament. I know you want to see that one.
Read the full report at roadtorepublic.mlca.gov.jm.
We are on the road to republic.
Need auto insurance? Advantage General puts you in the driver's seat. Apply online, purchase online, renew online, submit a claim online. Coverage in no time. Request a quote, purchase insurance, submit claims, even pay renewals with Advantage General online. From zero coverage to insured in 10 minutes. Advantage General, a member of Sagicor Group Jamaica. Conditions apply.
Joseph, but you get less coca bread. Patty can't without coca bread. Lay the patty eat flat in the bread. Bread soft with coca bread. Patty hot gas can't eat the bread. Joseph, patty with coca bread nice. With them coca bread are my choice. When soft, you know it tastes nice. Coca bread with the chicken no rice. Get your best patty and coca bread at Juicy today.
Let's face it, we all pray for forgiveness. We all want it. But how willing and prepared are we to return the favor? Forgive those who trespass against us, like it says in the Lord's Prayer. But what does it really mean to forgive? And is forgetting a non-negotiable part of the equation? Are we forgetting to forget? Tuesday, July 2, on The Rock, join guests Bishop Valentine Rodney and Bishop Carl Wisdom as they discuss the topic, Forgive and Forget. That's The Rock, Tuesday, July 2 at 10 a.m. here on the family station, Love 101.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. Let's take a look now at the newspapers to see what Jamaicans and others are saying and today. And we have in Luke Jamaica News, persons in low-lying areas urged to evacuate as Hurricane Beryl nears. Is a picture here of the Most Honorable Prime Minister Andrew Holness speaking at a press conference at the Jamaica House on July 1, 2024. That was just yesterday. We have in the Jamaica Observer, one killed as Hurricane Beryl passes through Grenadine Islands. Our condolences to the family. And we have in the Gleaner, Beryl upgraded to powerful Category 5 hurricane. It is indicated that, of course, when it, gets near to Jamaica, it would have, hopefully been downgraded to maybe a Category 2 or, maybe 3 or 2. Persons are hoping for that. Or so it is projected, but notwithstanding, even a Category 1 hurricane is still quite a dangerous hurricane. So we can't, become too complacent. And those and other stories in our daily newspapers today. Coming up next, we will read for some of the feedback from our Facebook, YouTube, and WhatsApp question, which is, how ready are you for Hurricane Beryl? If you haven't done so yet, leave your responses on our Facebook or YouTube, Love 101 FM Jamaica Live, and also please send in your comments and voice notes to 876-997-3125 using the hashtag The Morning Watch. We'll be right back.
Hey
everybody, it's time for Small People with Auntie Vashti.
right, it's the Small People Show with me, Auntie Vashti, every Monday to Friday at 4:30 p.m. Listen up, children. This is our time, and every day we want you in on the great things we are doing inside the Small People Show. We come to have fun. We come to help you through those rough days. We're educational, inspirational, and the Small People Show with Auntie Vashti is taking over the nation. Every child must know that they are special because God created you special. That's the Small People Show with me, Auntie Vashti. Monday to Friday at 4:30 p.m. It's on the family station, Love 101.
With inspiration now. And every afternoon, Small People.
Coming up on the next Campus Connection, can you believe it's our final show for this season? Wow! Time flies when you're having fun. We are inviting you to this end of year summer online party where you can send your shoutouts as we close off an amazing season. We will be reflecting on the season's journey and sharing summer activities for the family. Join us with special guests David Sutton, Perry in Christ, and members of the Campus Connection team as we close out school and kickstart the fun for the summer. That's Campus Connection this Tuesday, July 2 at 5:30 p.m. on the family station, Love 101.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. Let's join Jakal for a look at how our Facebook, YouTube, and WhatsApp friends answer today's question. How ready are you for Hurricane Beryl, Jakal?
All right, so we do have some responses here. The first one comes from Cherry in Spanish Town. She says, I am pretty much prepared, but sometimes, no matter how prepared one is, the expected can happen. Just continue to pray we all keep safe and be safe during and after Hurricane Beryl. Let's see. This next one is from Maxine Dixon. In this hurricane, please, everyone, keep safe and call upon God because only Him can calm the storm. Yeah, those are the responses we have right now.
Well, thank you very much for those responses. And persons, please, please, please do your best to prepare and take all the necessary precautions. Well, welcome back to the Morning Watch. This is the second watch as we continue dissecting the Trump-Biden presidential debate. Both watches today dedicated to that topic. Our guests remain as Reverend Basil Hanson and Pastor Silbern Carr. Reverend Basil Hanson is the founder and CEO of Mercy and Truth Ministries Television and first vice president of the Association of Christian Communicators and Media, and Pastor Silbern Carr, pastor of Abundant Life Christian Church. Continuing the discussion, Pastor Silbern Carr, you would have heard Reverend Hanson say quite a bit towards the end of the first watch. Among the things he indicated is that President Donald Trump is pro-life. He acknowledged that whilst President Trump may accept or believe that you should have exceptions in terms of abortion for rape, incest, and saving the life of the mother, he's definitely not in favor of partial birth abortion, not late-term abortion. And certainly, if a child survives an abortion, for instance, you should allow that child to live and not just leave the child maybe in the petri dish to gasp for breath until the child dies. Pastor Carr, what say you about someone like that, notwithstanding your position that he's not truthful or that he utters falsehood?
I too, I'm anti-abortion, anti-gay, anti-transgender. I'm not into that. That's the part of the Democrats that I don't like that. I don't support that. But however, I want to pick up on a point that Reverend Hanson made, that everybody saw Biden while he was debating, and they recognized it was weak, it was bad. The same persons who saw it, or most of them, saw January 6th, what Trump spoke and what he encouraged to do and what the people did. And when these people were prosecuted, they were saved, they were patriots, they were hostages, and all of these things. Now, I'm saying that would you want a man go back into the White House that refused to leave when he has lost an election and refused to concede? This is danger. Donald Trump has pressed the democracy in America to a limit it has never been pressed before. A lot of norms were broken. So we need to consider these things. This is a dangerous man. And this man will do. He said, look here, his admirers are Putin and Erdogan and King Jong-un. These are autocrats or dictators. He berates the allies a lot of the time. If it was him alone would have come out of NATO. This is the kind of man that we're looking at, you know. He may be strong and all of that, but we must consider the character of the man as well. The man took away documents from the White House, refused to return it. The man was accused of sexual molestation, fraud, a lot of he was also charged with the insurrection.
He was in charge.
This man is questionable. Do you want to put him back in the White House?
From a technical legal perspective, from a technical legal angle, I must indicate he has never been charged for insurrection. And this is notwithstanding the hearing that was conducted after what happened on January 6th. I want to minute about it.
He was charged for obstructing an peaceful transfer of an election. He was charged with that. He instigated all of these things.
Commenting on what you said about charged with. You
Well,
charged for that. No.
I believe that he was charged for insurrection, but was for disrupting the peaceful transfer of power.
I'm not commenting on that. I'm just saying he wasn't charged. He was never been.
Okay, he wasn't charged. But I'm looking at the character of the man. Would you want this man to lead the country again?
Understood. And interestingly too, I watched a clip of what he said at the speech prior to what happened on January 6th, and I do recall him indicating to the persons listening to him that they should be peaceful. And he also truthfully indicated to, at the time, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, I believe, that he was calling on the National Guard to come out to add a level of security because of maybe the concerns that had been raised. But for some reason, the National Guard wasn't allowed to, they didn't allow the National Guard to put up the troops. He had asked for.
The chief, he's in charge of the army,
No, apparently in terms of how they run that particular matter in their own country, this is the United States of America. They have a lot of rules and laws that govern certain things. Apparently, he is not allowed to do that. It would have been Nancy Pelosi, and she had declined the request.
But why would she decline a request to save the capital?
I'm telling you what it has been reported, and she hasn't denied it. In fact, I think she has acknowledged that she did not, accede to his request.
The character of this man is highly questionable. Highly questionable.
Okay.
And Biden has proven that his character is a man of his word. He does it. Look at what Biden did in the last 3.5 years in the economy. Look at what he did. You see, when Trump came into politics, I think Trump is more a divider than Biden, because Trump believes in getting things done by the Republicans only. And in the American politics, it's almost impossible to have anything done without bipartisan agreement. Look at the infrastructure bill. That was bipartisan, and a lot of the laws passed in the last 3.5 years were bipartisan.
Understood, Pastor Carr, but only because we're almost upon a break already. Just before we head to the break, Reverend Hanson, any comments in terms of what Pastor Carr has just indicated, and also bearing in mind that you did say who would replace President Biden at this late stage?
Well, I hear Pastor Carr saying that Trump has no character and his character is bad. But if you look at both candidates, Trump's character is bad, but Biden's brain is bad. So I'm not sure Biden is even running the country at this time. I mean, nobody in their right mind wants somebody who don't even know where they are to lead them. That for me is not sense.
Reverend Hanson, only because of time, and if you notice, I tend to be very careful when I speak about both gentlemen. I try to stick with the facts, so I don't know if any of them are lying, and that sort of thing. Listeners, please stay with us. We'll be right back to the Morning Watch.
Sardine finish up and the beginner. Follow the one with pepper, that are the winner. Shop on supermarkets, everybody
Great sardines, follow the better flavor.
The time is
7:45.
Kevin Downswell Foundation presents Realignment 2024 with Kevin Downswell, Chevelle Franklin, Positive, John Mark Wigan, Prince Saj, and more. Tickets 2,000, VIP 6,000, VVIP 10,000. Fontana, Genus, and St. Jago Pharmacy, Lions, and Kingston Bookshops. Go open.com/realignment 2024. 876-203-7030. Saturday, July 6th, Ronnie Williams Entertainment Center. Sunday, July 7th, Mandeville Primary and Junior High Playfield. 5:30 p.m. both days.
The report is out.
What report?
The Constitutional Reform Committee's report of recommendations.
Recommendations on what?
On how we move from a monarchy to a republic, of course.
So what's in it?
The creation of the office of president and changes to our parliament. Yes, man. It also includes a new qualification for membership in parliament. I know you want to see that one.
Read the full report at roadtorepublic.nlca.gov.jm.
We are on the road to republic.
I love doing my own thing, so to have to live by my landlady rules, kind of rough. I can only park near the front gate to the right of the mango tree, but not on the lawn. Well, I fulfill 2 dreams with 1 Jane Bank savings planning up. I buy my dream home, and I live by my own rules.
Stop wishing you could. With your Jane Bank savings, you absolutely can. Jane Bank will help you find a way.
Every Thursday morning, Love 101 shares with you power-packed messages, words of encouragement, and testimonies of God's miraculous power. You get all of that in the Don't Give Up broadcast, brought to you by Celebration Church at the Portmore Skating Ring in the Portmore Mall with Pastor Prophet Michael Carter. Be sure to stay tuned to Love 101 for the Don't Give Up broadcast. Get the word you need to start your day right. The Don't Give Up broadcast, Thursdays at 5:15 a.m. on the family station, Love 101. It's gonna be alright. Faith Lane Ministries invites you to Convocation 2024 with keynote ministers Bishop Steve Hepburn, Reverend Diane Lewis, and Reverend Vincent James. What shall I do then with Jesus who is called Christ? Sunday, July 7, 10 a.m. and 6:30 p.m. Monday and Tuesday, July 8 and 9 at 7 p.m. Fasting service on Tuesday, 9:30 a.m. Live on Zoom, 856-010-77842. Under the big blue and white tent off Winston Jones Highway, Somerset Road, Greenville, Mandeville. To participate and leave empowered.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. We are in the second watch, and in fact, both watches today have been on the topic dissecting the Trump-Biden presidential debate. Our guests remain as Reverend Basil Hanson and Pastor Silburn Carr. Just before the break, Reverend Basil Hanson, you're making a point. And before you continue the point, sir, I just want to also indicate this. It has been floated that a couple of possible replacements for President Biden, if that is permissible, include Governor of California, Gavin Newsom, as well as the wife of former President Obama, Michelle Obama, and there have been a couple other names as well. Of course, there have been concerns as to whether or not Vice President Harris would have the support to be a replacement in terms of her popularity. Apparently, she's not that popular in the U.S. for whatever the reason is. Reverend Hanson.
Stokely, when I look at both candidates right now, both of them have records to look at. Trump has 4 years, Biden has 3.5 years. when you look at both records, you can compare and decide under which of these guys your life was better off, which is what the American people are saying.
Yeah.
I'm looking at my pocketbook. I'm looking at what the economy looks like under Trump versus Biden.
People have been complaining that life has gotten economically worse off.
Right. And so while we are going to, we need to be fair, and especially as Christians, we have to be fair.
People have been saying that prices have been going up. The price of
everything, everything, right? And I'm saying not only that, but the Bible talks about a city without walls. You can't have a city without walls. Right now, America seems to have a country without walls.
You mean the U.S. southern border?
Anything causing anything. America is more dangerous now under Joe Biden than when it was under President Trump. President Trump was building a wall. Say what you want to say. He was putting in measures to protect people from coming in when at their free will. No, Biden don't have that. So all kinds of people walking into America. America is at risk under President Joe Biden than it was under Obama. And people are looking at those things. And so while we don't like his character, while we think he's a lie, we have the numbers to look at. We can look at his 4-year versus Biden. And people are making the choice based on that at the end of the day.
For some reason, notwithstanding all the criticism of President Trump, his poll numbers have been just going through the roof. He's just extremely popular for whatever reason. And subsequent to the debate, I saw one poll indicating that he had the support in terms of Trump versus Biden, 67% Trump, 33% Biden. Is just amazing. In fact, after the recent trial where he was convicted of the 34 counts, the amount of donations he
raised 141 million to be exact. It's $141 million.
Some people will say that he would have lost popularity, but in fact he gained popularity. Sorry, Reverend Hanson, I wanted to go to Pastor Carr, but Pastor Carr
but as I said, that is really the crux of the matter. It's not about personality. Government is not about personality. It's about those who are going to make your life better and less stressful. That's what government is about. So we have governments all over the world that have shady character, and so we can't use that to determine who is going to be whether Trump should be or not. And I'm saying I have seen over the last 4 years things was much better than under Joe Biden. And that is why the American people are speaking loudly. And we can't deny that.
Including, I gather, he has a lot of Black American support, which I found quite
The blacks are leaving in droves to support him.
I found that interesting as well. They think that the persons coming across the border are taking their jobs away from them. Pastor Carr, before you let me raise this before you include what you're going to say. I want to raise an issue which I don't think a lot of people are focusing on, and it's the role of President Biden's wife, Dr. Jill Biden. We saw where I saw a clip where she helped him off the debate stage after that debate. And she told him on camera after the debate that he did very well, or that he did well, he answered all the questions. And yet you had a chorus of persons in mainstream media saying that he should go. Oftentimes we kind of forget the spouses of presidents. Do you have any thoughts on how something like this can affect the spouse of a president? Pastor Carr. I'm not saying comments on what Reverend Hanson just said, but I'm raising this question as well.
It will, because remember that husband and wife are usually close. I mean, in good marriages and they see that not a good marriage. And wives will say one thing publicly and another thing privately because it's for the cameras. But I just want to back up a little bit on what Reverend Hanson said. Remember that America is recovering from COVID in 2020, and America has had the fastest recovery and is the best recovered country in the world. Since that, most jobs, inflation down, unemployment down. We seem to forgetting these things. It's not all the prices wouldn't rise because they had to do a massive influx of money to get the economy back up. So the prices wouldn't be back to where it was 4 years ago. Because in a free market economy, people are still going to bid up prices by the demand for the goods. So I think it's a little unfair because life has almost returned to what it was post-COVID. And I think that he has done a good recovery job. He has passed the infrastructure bill. He has passed some bill to cut poverty rate among blacks. We still forgive it. My concern, though, because I know time is running out, is this character. You cannot trust the nation with Trump. The next time, he may not come out of office this time. He may plan to stay. People are just glossing over this thing, you know, that he is a man who stressed democracy to the limit. Remember when he came in, he attacked the FBI, he attacked a lot of the systems he attacked. Right now, him in the court, him attacking the court, him attack the judge, him attack the jury. He has to have things his way. He wants to be above the law. That you want to put back in the White House.
You haven't heard the Democrats and the ruling. I've never heard anybody gone to the courthouse and said that Justice Kavanaugh, you have released the whirlwind, and you remember that statement by, I think, Chuck Schumer?
Yes, I do.
Talk about we need to be fair. As Christians, we need to be fair and we need to be honest. That's
yes.
Christianity and
Christ. And we need to be honest about the character.
And we are not.
We need to be honest about the character of Donald Trump, that he wants to live above the law. We need to examine facts now.
I don't have any evidence of that. I have that evidence. But as I said, my closing remarks would be from Proverbs 29, verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. For me right now, both of them are wicked. So we're going to have a lot of mourning. And everywhere that there is no righteous governance, we're going to have a lot of mourning. So what we need to do, rather than we hear debating about these two guys, we need to start putting ourselves and setting up righteous government and righteous altars so that the people can rejoice. We will not have rejoicing whether Donald Trump or Joe Biden win because they are not righteous governance. Righteous governance will make the people rejoice. And we at home in Jamaica need to start looking at who governs us, if we are going to rejoice or we're going to mourn, looking at who we put to lead us and to govern us. That is really what I would want to say in all of this, Stokeley.
Reverend Hanson, any thoughts or any comments in terms of the role of his wife, President Biden's wife, Dr. Jill Biden? She helped him off the debate stage. She told him on camera after the debate that he did well, whilst there was a chorus of persons in mainstream media across the U.S. saying that
it's very clear that she was dishonest. It's very clear that Joe Biden did not do well, and she was telling him it would seem as if that she has some interest protecting. And I wouldn't be surprised if she's also part of who is running the country at this time, because obviously it's very clear Joe Biden is not running the country. Somebody else is doing the job. And so as a wife, she should have influence and she must have influence. So I wouldn't be surprised if she is pulling a lot of the strings. So, I wouldn't be surprised that she's behind all of this. To tell the husband that I think she should have done a better job. In fact, she should have told her husband it's time to call the shot. If my wife did that to me, I would wonder if she really loves me.
Gentlemen, I think we're completely and totally out of time, and I think we're getting a time signal coming up already. Thank you, Pastor Karen, Reverend Hanson, for this very interesting discussion. Thank you, gentlemen, for being with us today, for your time.
Thank you, Stokeley.
Thank you, listeners, for being with us. Join us again tomorrow as we look at the other topic and controversial issues. Visit the Love 101 FM YouTube channel and Facebook page for this and all other Love 101 FM programs. Listen to the Morning Watch on our Love 101 app. Download it today and stay connected to the family station, Love 101 FM, the number one gospel station in Jamaica. This has been the Morning Watch. Thanks to our producer, Kathy Gale, and to our guests. I am Stokeley Marshall, handing back to Love in the Morning with Chukal.
Thank you for listening. listening to the Morning Watch. We want to thank the Ministry of Legal and Constitutional Affairs for sponsoring the Morning Watch today.
At the Ministry of Health and